So to conclude this whole topic of the Anusim, the conversos, the crypto Jews from Spain and Portugal, which we saw that although in the 1500s they were accepted as Jews to marry into the community, and perhaps even in the early 1600s, as the centuries went on, of course, there was more and more intermarriage. As we saw, they already began taking non-Jewish concubines and so on and so forth. And those who stayed as liberanos, of course, there were those who moved to communities and were accepted in the 1600s, but those who stayed became intermingled within the general Christian society. And so the approach of the Rabbanut today is that such people who claim to be of this descent are not accepted as Jews, but need to undergo a full gerut, a full conversion. And that makes total sense because we have no way of tracing back mother after mother all the way back 500 years to know if indeed the lineage is intact. And so that is the approach that those who are of Spanish and Portuguese descent, from the Marrano descent, the Converso descent, they need to undergo a full conversion. Just 2 points to say to that. Firstly, Rabbi Haim David Halevi, who was the chief rabbi of Tel Aviv, wrote that the return, already in his time, the Anusim were coming back. He wrote the return of them and wanting to embrace Judaism and convert and become fully Jewish again is a sign of the Mashiach, is a sign that Hashem will gather in from the exiles, He'll gather in all those who are lost and bring them back together. So that's an important point. And on that note, a very important letter of Mordechai Eliyahu, Zechrono Livracha, the former chief rabbi of Israel, who wrote in 1994 a letter to the institution of the Anusim, and he said, like we've said, he said, we can't accept you as Jews because we have no way of tracing back the whole lineage. Having said that, though, he said two important points. Firstly, he said those who do want to come back should be treated with kindness and love, and a kind of implication that they are, to be encouraged, perhaps, if they want to. Although normally when it comes to conversion, it's pushed off and people are not encouraged to do so. If people are from that descent, then they should be treated with kindness and perhaps not to make the process any easier. The process has to be gone through and the entire conversion process, but to perhaps encourage it and to bring them back, as Rabbi Haim David Halevi said, that this is a part of the ingathering of exiles. And he also said something very interesting. He said that once they do go through the whole process, and Mordechai Eliyahu said, once they've gone through the whole process and indeed have converted and gone to the mikveh and milah, then the certificate they're given should be the certificate Teudat Hazara L'Darkei Avot. Instead of normally it's Teudat Gerut, a certificate of conversion, the certificate will be called the certificate of returning to the ways of your forefathers. Okay, it makes no difference in halakha, but it's just interesting that he was willing to accept that, to acknowledge that this is it's a conversion, 100%. It's a full conversion, and the person who converts of this descent will be considered a full convert in all its implications in halakha, which there are many, but as a kind of encouragement, calling it a teudah chazara, a teudah of return, to indicate that they're coming back to their roots and that they're embracing once again their Torah. So that's the whole topic of those who were the Anosim, those who were the conversos, and we'll move on to the next topic next time.